The night they split our family, I was only 10, but I still remember every word my mom said. "You can take Ryan," she told my dad coldly. "I'll take Emma. But Brielle, she'll be fine on her own." Fine? I was standing right there, holding my teddy bear, crying, and they acted like I didn't even exist. Before we go deeper, make sure you hit subscribe, like, and share this story, because what happens next will shock you to your core. That night, my mom drove away with my sister, my dad left with my brother, and I was taken to a foster home. No one fought for me. No one looked back. I kept wondering, how could two people who made me both choose to leave me behind? Years passed. Foster homes changed, faces changed, but that feeling never did. Every time I saw a happy family, I'd think, what makes me so easy to forget? I promised myself one thing. If I ever got out of this cycle, I'd never beg anyone to love me again. By the time I turned 18, I was working 3 jobs, barely sleeping, but saving every single dollar. Everyone called me the invisible girl. They had no idea I was building something quietly, something no one saw coming. And then last month, I got a call. From her. My mom. Her voice cracked through the phone. "Brielle, we need your help. Your sister's in trouble." My heart froze. After all those years, now they needed me? I didn't know whether to hang up or finally face the people who threw me away. But what I said next changed everything. I took a deep breath before answering. "You need my help?" I repeated slowly, letting the silence hang. For a second, I almost felt bad. Almost. Then I remembered those nights in the foster home, when I cried myself to sleep, wondering if my mom even remembered my name. She sighed, pretending to sound loving. "Sweetheart, I know things were complicated, but your sister needs $42,000 immediately. It's urgent. You're doing well now, right? Maybe you could help the family?" The family. The word hit like poison. They were never a family when I needed them. But now that they were desperate, I was suddenly one of them again. I didn't tell her that I owned 3 successful businesses now, or that the girl they left in state care had quietly become a millionaire. I just said calmly, "Tell me what happened to Emma." Mom hesitated. She got into some bad deals. She took a loan for a business, and now the investors are threatening to sue. We might lose everything. We. She said we, like I'd been part of their life all along. I bit my lip to stop myself from laughing. "And where's Dad?" I asked. "He's with Ryan. They're also struggling. He tried reaching out to you, but..." "Don't lie." I cut her off. "He never tried. None of you did." There was silence again. I could hear her breathing hard, probably realizing the power shift. Years ago, I was the unwanted child. Now, I was the one holding the cards. "Please, Brielle," she said finally, voice breaking. "You have the means to fix this. Don't let your sister suffer." I let her words sink in. The same sister who used to post happy family photos, while pretending I didn't exist, now needed me. I told her I'd think about it and hung up. But deep down, I already knew. I wasn't going to send a penny until I faced them all in person. So I booked a ticket home, the first in 14 years. But what I had planned for that family meeting would leave them speechless. When I landed back in my hometown, it felt like stepping into a ghost of the life I never got to live. Same streets, same houses. But everything felt smaller now. I wasn't the scared little girl anymore. I was the woman they all underestimated. The moment I walked into the restaurant my mom had chosen for the family meeting, the air shifted. My mom looked older, but still had that same judgmental glare. My dad sat stiffly beside her, pretending not to care. My sister Emma wore designer clothes, heavy makeup, and fake confidence. My brother Ryan didn't even meet my eyes. "Brielle," Mom said with forced excitement, stretching her arms out like she hadn't abandoned me years ago. "It's been so long, sweetheart." I smiled tightly. "Yeah, 14 years long." She flinched. The waitress brought water, and for a moment, no one said anything. Then Emma leaned forward, flipping her perfect hair. "Look, Brielle, we don't have time for drama. I'm in a situation, and you could actually do something useful for once. Useful." That word burned. She didn't even realize she was talking to someone who could buy and sell her entire business twice over. I kept my tone calm. Useful? That's interesting coming from someone who used to tell everyone I was a charity case. Emma rolled her eyes. "Oh, come on. That was years ago." Dad finally spoke, his voice sharp. "You've made something of yourself, right? It's time to give back. Family helps family." I laughed. It came out low and cold. "Family helps family? You mean like when you helped me pack my things for foster care?" Mom gasped. "Brielle, that's not fair. We were going through so much that you forgot one of your kids existed?" I interrupted. "You took Emma, Dad took Ryan, and I was left to the system. But sure, tell me how that was fair." Emma's confidence cracked a little. "We didn't know things would turn out this way." I leaned back, smiling slightly. "You mean with me successful and you broke?" Her face turned red. Dad slammed his hand on the table. "Don't disrespect your family." I met his glare. "You lost the right to call yourself that a long time ago." The entire restaurant went quiet for a moment. You could hear the tension buzzing in the air like static. Then Mom, in her practiced voice, said, "We just need $42,000, Brielle. That's all. Then we can move forward." I took out my phone and opened my banking app, pretending to consider it. $42,000? I said. "That's nothing." Their faces lit up with hope, until I continued. "But money doesn't fix betrayal." Ryan finally spoke, voice small. "Brielle, please. Emma's really scared. Those investors mean business." I looked at him, then back at my mom. "I'll help. But not the way you think. I'm not wiring any money." Mom frowned. "Then what are you going to do?" I smiled. "I'll buy the business." The words hit like a thunderclap. Emma's mouth fell open. "You can't just buy my company." "Oh, I can," I said softly. "And once I do, I'll own every part of it, including the name that has your signature all over it." Her face went pale. Dad leaned forward. "You're bluffing." I opened my phone, showing them the documents on the screen. "Already made an offer to the investors this morning. They accepted." Mom's hand shook as she gripped her glass. "You wouldn't." "I already did," I said. "And tomorrow, your business legally belongs to the daughter you left behind." The silence that followed was deafening. Mom's hand trembled so badly that her water glass nearly tipped over. "Brielle, this isn't right," she whispered. "We're your family. You can't just—" I leaned forward, cutting her off. "Can't just what? Take control, make decisions for myself? Funny how those rules never applied when you left me in state care." Emma's voice cracked, full of disbelief. "You're not serious. You wouldn't actually take everything from me." I smirked. "Take? No, I'm just owning what your greed put up for sale." Dad slammed his hand on the table again, trying to regain control. "You think this makes you powerful? Money doesn't make you family, Brielle." I met his stare coldly. "Neither does abandonment." For the first time, Ryan looked ashamed. He whispered, "Brielle, she didn't mean to hurt you." I turned to him. "She didn't mean to forget I existed? To tell people I was some ward of the state mistake?" My voice shook now, not with fear, but years of swallowed anger finally spilling out. "You all left me. You built this perfect family image while I was learning to survive. And now that you're drowning, you remember my number?" Mom started crying, but even her tears felt rehearsed. "We made mistakes. We were young, stupid. You were selfish," I said sharply. "You all picked comfort over conscience. But here's the thing. Every time you left me to fight alone, I was learning how to win." I pulled out a folder from my bag and slid it across the table. "These are the transfer papers. Your company is now under my management. You'll stay as employees, if I decide you're useful." Emma stood up, voice shaking with rage. "You're doing this to humiliate us." I didn't flinch. "No, I'm doing this to teach you what being forgotten feels like. Except this time, you'll remember it every single day you clock in under my name." She grabbed her purse, muttering, "You're heartless." I smiled faintly. "You taught me how to be." Dad pushed his chair back violently, but before he could storm off, I said, "Oh, and one more thing. I've arranged your debts to be consolidated under the company's expenses, which means every dollar you owe, you'll be paying me back, with interest." His face turned red with fury. Mom whispered, "You're cruel." I took a deep breath and stood. "No, Mom, you all made me strong. You created this version of me. So if you don't like the outcome, maybe next time, don't abandon the quiet kid." I walked out, leaving them frozen in shock. The restaurant doors closed behind me, and for the first time in years, I didn't feel broken. I felt free. But as I reached my car, my phone buzzed again. A text from Ryan. "You have no idea what you've started. They're hiding something big. Don't trust Mom." My stomach dropped. Hiding something? What could possibly be left after all this? I turned back toward the restaurant, heart pounding. Something told me this family reunion was far from over. My fingers tightened around my phone as I stared at Ryan's message. "Don't trust Mom." My mind started spinning. What could she possibly be hiding now? I almost left, but something in my gut told me to go back. I walked quietly toward the restaurant window, just enough to see inside. Mom, Dad, and Emma were huddled close, whispering like criminals caught mid-plan. My name slipped from Mom's lips, followed by something that made my heart stop. "She has no idea about the insurance money," Mom said. "If she ever finds out we collected $200,000 after putting her name on the deceased child record, we're finished." The world tilted. Deceased child? They'd declared me dead? My entire childhood, they hadn't just abandoned me. They erased me. My existence was their payday. I stood there frozen, every nerve on fire. My so-called family didn't just forget me, they cashed out on my life. My parents got rich while I was sleeping on foster home floors. And now they needed me again? I walked back inside, calm, but trembling inside. Mom's smile vanished the moment she saw me. "Brielle, honey, we were just plotting," I finished. "I heard everything." Dad's face drained of color. Emma looked panicked. "It's not what you think." "Oh, it's exactly what I think," I said coldly. "You reported me dead to collect insurance, and now you're sitting here asking for my money?" Mom stammered. We didn't know if you'd survive." I slammed the folder on the table again. "You didn't care if I did. You just wanted profit. Well, congratulations. You made me stronger than you ever imagined." Dad tried to speak, but I cut him off. "Here's how this ends. You have 48 hours to sign a confession and return every cent from that payout, or I send this recording to the police and IRS." I raised my phone, showing the voice memo app still running. Mom went pale. Emma started crying. "Please, Brielle, don't ruin us." I looked straight at her. "You ruined me first, but unlike you, I don't need to destroy people to win. I just make them face the truth." They broke down, begging, promising to fix everything. But I'd already decided. I'd send the confession and walk away for good. Some debts are too heavy for forgiveness. 2 months later, the investigation went public. My parents lost everything, their assets seized, their names dragged through the news. As for me, I opened a foundation for foster kids, the ones who were forgotten. just like me. When a reporter asked why I didn't change my last name after everything, I smiled and said, because I want them to remember who they left behind and who came back stronger. I walked away that day, head high, heart steady. For years, they chose who mattered in our family. Now I was the one who decided.